Ultraman Season 2 has finally arrived 3 years after the first season ended. New Ultramen enter the fray against a shadowy organization known as the Star of Darkness. Stakes are higher than ever, as humanity is faced with the threat of invasion. While only 6 episodes long, the anime adapts manga volumes 8 through 11. However, in this case, adapt has a very loose meaning. While villains and heroes are recognizable, the anime tells an almost entirely new story. This video will highlight the most notable changes that directly impact the story. These changes revolve around the origins of Ultraman Taro, the actions and plot of the Star of Darkness, and the omission or addition of characters. Heavy spoilers follow. Ultraman Taro starts the story as Kotaro Higashi. A photographer with the goal to unveil secrets with his photos, Taro gets involved with a larger plot while investigating alien activity. In the anime, a string of mass disappearances, always before a bright flash, catches Taro's attention, while the manga sees Taro investigate cases of humans with enhanced strength and glowing eyes. In the anime, Taro has a girlfriend named Izumi who greets him, while the manga has a friend to Taro named Dave. Important to note is that the entirety of the plot shifts from New York in the manga to Japan in the anime. While stuck in traffic, anime Taro and Izumi happen to be in an area where another disappearance will occur. Taro notices the signs and the suspicious group of maid cafe people and is able to avoid the flash. Later, he investigates the area where the maid group works. He discovers the maids are an alien species known as alien waterin, who are being forced to capture humans by the Star of Darkness. As he does this, he sends the proof to Izumi, who relays the information to the SSSP. Taro is eventually caught and Izumi is found. The waterin have been using life energy guns to turn humans into energy and then teleport them away. However, when they fire at Izumi, the system malfunctions, and instead she enters a limbo between life and death. This enrages Taro, who breaks free but is soon shot anyway. Just like with Izumi, the system malfunctions. Taro, though, loses control but gains fire powers and chases the waterin away. Jack appears on scene in a brand new Ultra suit and tries to subdue Taro. Taro's lack of control nearly causes him to go nuclear before Alenia Pool sends Jack a new suit that would contain and safely release the heat. Jack forces the suit on Taro, who successfully returns to normal. This entire plot is not in the manga. The manga has a much darker story. While walking around town at night, manga Taro stumbles across 2 men. One is heard yelling, "I told you not to take so much," as he runs away from the other man. The running man drops vials containing some sort of substance. Taro goes to investigate the scene, and as he picks up a vial, the remaining man suddenly turns around. With glowing eyes, he rushes Taro, stabbing him through his stomach with nothing but his hand. Taro lays on the floor, bleeding out, and dies. Sometime later, it's morning, and Taro suddenly resurrects in a pool of his own blood. Near him, he notices a smashed vial, indicating the substance flowed into him as he was dying. Moments later, Taro discovers he has increased strength, agility, and durability as he stops a purse snatcher. He decides to use his new powers for good, and after a short training montage with Dave, he creates his own suit. Taro then spends a few panels saving multiple people and becoming a real superhero. It is shown that after exerting himself, intense heat in the form of steam flows from his body. One night, Taro returns from a patrol to find Dave being held hostage by the Star of Darkness. After seeing how a vial reacted so differently in Taro, the SOD wanted to investigate. In a plea to save Dave's life, Taro reveals his identity to the aliens as a normal human and claims he has no ties to Ultraman. The alien does not care and completely shoots off Dave's head. Taro begins exerting heat and gains the fire form seen in the anime. Not in control of himself, Taro explodes, completely vaporizing the aliens. Instead of Jack, a Dot and Red King find Taro unconscious and bring him to safety. There are further differences between the actions Taro takes based on the plot of both the manga and the anime, but because the plots are so different, it doesn't really fit the theme of this video. In order to flesh out what I mean, we must now look at the Star of Darkness. The Star of Darkness has even more differences between the manga and anime than Taro. Part of that has been explained through Taro. The anime used disappearance, while the manga used violence. Both series reach a point when the leader of the group, Alien Padan, makes himself known to the world. In the anime, he demands that humanity give up half their population willingly, within 24 hours, and he will let the current hostages go free. If they fail to comply, he will keep the current humans and then invade to wipe out half of humanity anyway. Behind the scenes, Padan tries to capture all the Ultramen using alien waterin. He eventually gets annoyed with their failures and captures Shin Hayata himself. It's clear here his intent was to remove any chance of resistance and to demoralize the remaining humans. The manga takes a much more elitist stance. Alien Padan states that the superior races should rule, claiming humanity is not one of them. He says the substance in the vials was just a test, and that the substance has already been released into the air of New York. Within hours, the effects will activate, and New York will tear itself apart. While many of the Ultramen are on scene during this time, trying to save people before the event and from rioters who have already been infected, Padan appears once more. He claims the air contamination was all a lie, and that all the rioters only did what they did because they thought they could use the infection as an excuse to absolve themselves. Padan wanted the alien immigrants on Earth and the Star Cluster Council itself to see how undeserving humans are of the planet. Both the anime and manga are now at a point where the climax begins. The Star of Darkness released the Golden Fortress, a clear nod to the Ultra 7 villain King Joe, and the assembled 6 Ultramen begin their attack. While the climax plays out differently, it's mostly because of the change of characters. This brings us to our last area of focus, the omission or addition of characters. Since season 1 of the anime, Ultraman has removed characters and plots from the manga. I mentioned in my previous season 1 comparison video that the anime severely messed up when it got rid of Red King. Season 2 is where that idea shows itself most. In the manga, Red King works alongside Adad. While Adad is in the anime, he is relegated to a piece of intel, and that's it. This is where the anime plot loses a powerful foundation for intrigue. It turns out that after season 1, Adad was annoyed with clearly being someone's dog. He believes that if he is going to be a dog, he should at least know who his master is. To do this, he is the one who allows the Star of Darkness to reach New York, and asks Red to join him. Red had no part in this act, but agrees to go to New York with Adad to see the story unfold. This brings Adad and Red to Taro, since they were also investigating the vials. It also means that during the climax in the manga, Adad and Red King participate in the fight. Before getting into the final fight, there is one character that has not been mentioned. Among the alien Waterin, the primary voice of the species is Princess Maya. She is the character that ultimately decides to free the captured people and turn on alien Padan. However, while doing this, she is impaled and killed. You liar! The reason this is significant is because in order to accomplish this, Ultraman Ace is left as her bodyguard. This means Ace is stuck on the hostage ship during the climax. He fights the same alien he does in the manga, but the scenario is different. Instead of using spikes to impale, in the manga the alien could manipulate gravity. He defeats Ace easily, breaking his arm. It is Adad, who has planned ahead and is able to fight against the gravity, who defeats the alien. In the anime, Ace defeats the alien, but he doesn't do much for the ground battle. A character the anime completely omits is Rei. During the manga, Seven goes through intense training after failing to do anything against the Ace Killer Squad. During this training, he gets flashbacks to his brother Rei, who was taken when they were young. One of the primary aliens in the Star of Darkness is someone who looks exactly like Seven and Rei. This creates a whole emotional arc where Seven remembers painful memories and has to confront this new Rei. It turns out Rei died a long time ago. The body is inhabited by another alien. When Seven learns this, he kills Rei without hesitation. It's a great arc for showing how emotional Seven can be, but also how strong his conviction to wiping out evil aliens is. Seven in general does much more in the manga. He kills most of the main aliens, and even takes down the Golden Fortress all on his own, in a matter of seconds. While Jack himself is about the same in the manga and anime, the climax in the manga clearly shows that there are 3 Jack suit users. Each of them was funded by and works directly under the United States government. It doesn't change the story in the moment, but it may affect the anime going forward, since Jack and Taro end up as free agents who move to the United States. Bemilar serves an important role in both climaxes, but in the manga, Hayata makes it clear he knows Bemilar is the original Ultraman, while the anime still leaves that up in the air. Anime Taro is the one who takes down the Golden Fortress and is saved through the essence of Izumi and Bemilar. It is currently unclear if Bemilar used powers to save Taro in the anime, or if he was offering to merge with him like he did Shin Hayata many years ago, though the former seems more likely. Finally, Rena kisses Shinjiro at the end of the anime, establishing a relationship nowhere close to that level in the chapters it adapts. Those are all the changes I find most impact the story between the Ultraman manga and anime season 2. While there are more differences such as Shinjiro being captured, Hayata getting a confirmed Zophie suit, and interactions between Jack and Red, those differences don't really have narrative comparison points. As you can see from the video, the plots divulge so much from each other that it becomes less about comparisons and more about discussing entirely new plots. Both plots are entertaining, but by highlighting the comparison points, I hope it's clearer to see where the anime got its roots. Let me know which plot you think handled the story better in the comments. Thanks for watching.